Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our talks with Walt, as we are calling our readings to the deathbed edition of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. We turn now to a little poem in drum taps called Delicate Cluster, poem number 37 of the 43 of drum taps. This is another tribute poem to the flag. And of course, as we've already seen in Leaves of Grass, Whitman said into the O Cause, "My book and the war are one." And there's so many different ways that that line is understood. And one of those ways is, of course, his appreciation of symbols and symbolism, and the flag being one of those really important symbols. Now, our assumptions are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net. Down that left-hand side, Talks with Walt, from everything from inscriptions to an introductory set of comments for drum taps, and then we just did As I Lay. Our Nortons will tell us, by the way, that this poem was first published in the group Bathed in War's Perfume of the 1871 edition of Leaves of Grass and transferred to drum taps in 1881. It's a remarkable little poem for its ability to say so much, to be such a powerful tribute poem. And notice the 9 exclamation points as we go. Delicate cluster, flag of teeming life, covering all my lands, all my seashores lining, flag of death, how I watched you through the smoke of battle pressing, how I heard you flap and rustle, cloth defiant. Flag cerulean, sunny flag, with the orbs of night dappled, oh, my silvery beauty. Ah, my woolly white and crimson, ah, to sing the song of you, my matron mighty, my sacred one, my mother. Notice all the uses of sound in this poem, all those M's, those muffled M's as a hymn, right? And I think this is one of Whitman's great hymns to our really precious flag. Notice he begins with the word delicate, and he ends with the word sacred. Of course, delicate makes us think of Song of the Exposition, number 9, delicate beauty, as he's referencing the flag. Notice flag of teeming life. You'll maybe remember this word teeming from our study of Eidolons, America's busy, teeming, intricate world. The idea of teeming will take us, of course, as well to that Statue of Liberty and the teeming masses, right? Covering all, notice it's my lands, and then the dash, all my seashores lining. In other words, Whitman wants to define himself as the poet of America, as the poet of the flag. There's a sometimes pejorative line to wrap oneself in the flag, and yet Whitman will wrap himself in the flag, not in a pejorative or negative way, in a positive way. He says, if we as a nation could go through what we've been through, i.e. drum taps, then the flag is the greatest symbol of that. Notice then, he'll say it. It's a flag of death, which is an ironic line. And the exclamation mark, it's almost like he feels like he needs to explain himself. How I watched you through the smoke of battle pressing. In other words, the flag is so central to the way he understands the American Civil War. How I heard you flap and rustle, cloth defiant. Not only is it the flag of death, but it's the flag of defiance. It is the Promethean symbol. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell us what to do. In other words, for Whitman, it isn't a query of independence for Jefferson and his pals. It is a declaration of independence. We're defiant. We're Promethean. And then he uses this word cerulean, and it will get used in to the man of war bird. Beautiful, beautiful blue, in other words, right? And then he says, sunny flag. You'll remember that we said, he said at one time, I choose the sunny side. That is to say, optimism. Sunny flag, with the orbs of night dappled, the comparison, the contrasting working so well here. And then he uses ah twice, or 3 times. Ah, my silvery beauty. He becomes almost romantic about his talking about the flag. My woolly white and crimson. Notice I told you guys, and I was setting you up for this early on, his love of coloration, as it specifically will have to do with drum taps. To sing the song of you. In other words, Whitman is going to sing a lot of songs. I hear America singing the varied carols I hear at the beginning of the beginning of Leaves of Grass. Now, in the very end of drum taps, we come back to that idea of songs. My matron mighty. He uses religious language. He uses feminine language here. And then he finally finishes, my sacred one, my mother. And knowing what we said, about his mother, and the sacredness that he wants to give to Mother Country is all part of patriotism for Whitman. By the way, you'll remember Sacred from I Sing the Body Electric, when he talks about the body, both man and women's body is sacred. It is fascinating the way he moves between the physical as being sacred and the metaphysical as being sacred. It will account for those opening lines of Song of Myself, passage 48. I have said that the soul is not more than the body, and I've said that the body is not more than the soul, and nothing, not God, is greater to one than oneself. It's quite a remarkable accomplishment to keep coming back to an idea like that in Leaves of Grass. What are we going to do with this at 2A for themes and messages? Well, obviously, he's going to argue that the flag is the symbol that will unite all of us in our history. America is strong enough, he's going to make the argument, to make it through war, to make it through hell, and to come out on the other side. And the one symbol that is, of all other symbols, the most precious for Whitman is the flag. The 9 to be, the 9 exclamation points tells us how this poem is to be read, the enthusiasm, the excitement with which it's to be read. At 3A, I just take us back to the Star-Spangled Banner and Francis Scott's Keys, and of course the defense of Fort Henry that night of September the 14th, 1814. The, of course, Star-Spangled Banner being adopted 3 March of 1931. And I find it fascinating that in between those 2 dates lies a poem like this, and of course a collection of poems called Leaves of Grass. Finally, at 3B, how are we going to own a poem like this? We're not going to finish until we ask, how can we personally respond? How do you respond to the flag? What are your feelings about the flag? When you look at it, are you proud of it as an American? And especially, how is that changing for you after your reading and study of not just Leaves of Grass, but drum taps in particular? Thank you.